to come over here on the other side of my 9? Well, you can notice something pretty simple right away with my initial symbol.
These numbers that are all lined up straight across, we can notice they all equal back to 9. So 8 plus 1 is 9, 7 and 2 is 9, 6 and 3 is 9, 4, 5 and 4 is 9. So 9 is always forming the center line that separates and polarizes the numbers. And so it's actually turning these numbers into mirror images, or right and left. It's giving a polarity to everything.
So, a few days ago I spoke with Marco on the phone regarding the principle of alternating polarity within the doubling circuit, relating to the coil, as he requested that I include polarity in my software. A few hours later, during meditation, shortly after clearing myself of thoughts and only doing energy work, I received a vision. This vision nagged me for several days until I finally decided to write a script for 3D Studio Max to generate and investigate it. Now this structure here equals 9 because the sum of all values within reduces to 9. This tutorial by Randy Powell explains the multiplication of the numbers that mirror each other and discusses polarity. As he continues, the structure will begin to assemble.
So when I start to show these multiplication tables, you might say, well, what do you mean by mirrors? Because the 1 and the 8, they don't look like mirrors. Okay? But we know we have something called spin symmetry or mirror imaging in physics. You could say if I have a positive particle going one way, then there should be a negative particle. There should be mirror imaging between things directionally, or just like between right and left. Your hands are mirror images. And we don't really have 10 fingers. You have 0.5, which is half of a whole. It's 100%. So when I have 1 going up in increments of 1, well, my 8, what happens is I'm going down in increments of 1. So you can see immediately that I have polarity. When 1 is positive, going up, 8 is negative, going down. Okay, so 8 times 2 is 16. 6 and 1 is 7. Okay, 8 times 3 is 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. 8 times 3 is 32. 3 plus 2 is 5. 8 times 4 is 40. Wait a minute, no. I said 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 40, which is 4. 8 times 6 is 48, which equals 12, which comes back to 3. 8 times, where am I at now? 8 times 7 is 56. 5 plus 6 is 11, and 1 plus 1 is 2. And 8 times 8 is 64, which comes back to 1. 8 times 9 is 72, which comes back to 9. So in other words, my 8 in single digits is going 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 9. It's a mirror image of this in that when my 1 is positive going up in ones, my 8 is negative going down in ones. If my 8 was positive going in this direction, which would still, incrementally be down in ones, my 1 would be negative going in the opposite direction. So any one of these numbers that equals the 9 separated from each other, if they equal 9, they have different polarity. 1 is positive and 1 is going to be negative. Okay? We're modeling here, I should say, what we're looking for is mathematical perfection. There can be no spaces, no gaps, nothing omitted, nothing left out. So let's take a further look into that perfection. Let's go to 2. Okay? 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. We're coming back to 1 here. 1 plus 0 is 1. 12, which is 3. 14, 4 plus 1 is 5. 16, 6 plus 1 is 7. 18, 8 and 1 is 9.
I appended a dimension to the original two-dimensional codex to illustrate the principles that Randy discussed. the principle of the progression of multiples, polarity, and mirroring. Given that there is a circadian type of flow between the polar numbers, it is only natural that it is depicted by circles. As such, each value in each circle progresses from ×1 at the main circle value, to ×8 at the value at its polar opposite on the main circle. The ×9 value is represented by the main circle as discussed earlier, and resets the value back to the original location, or progression can change polarity and progress negatively after 8 towards the original location. Mirroring is divided by the main circle, and each side of the main circle can be either positive or negative dependent upon perspective. This is why I chose not to indicate negative numbers on any particular side. Now let's remove some of the clutter. Along the dividing line of the original structure of the doubling circuit, the numbers display a duality. With each iteration along the multiplication rings in both directions, the numbers are like. Obviously this is why they call it a mirror. Anyway, each side can be called positive or negative dependent upon perspective. These multiplication rings are to be considered aspects of the number on the main Rodin structure in a third dimension. According to Marco, the electromagnetic doubling circuit alternates between positive and negative as it progresses. So I connect the positive aspect of a single iteration along the multiplication ring with the same iteration along the mirror of the two. And so on. And here is the structure in 3 dimensions. Now this was the vision that popped into my mind. The application of the multiplication rings to the main original Rodin Codex, and applying the rules of polarity when drawing the doubling circuit. As you can see, there are several paths at which a mirror line is penetrated, indicated by the regions at which the structure intersects along the original Rodin Codex.